Hello everyone. This is Dahlia helping professionals with international careers. How are you guys doing? Give me a wave or let me know if you are there and if you can hear me. And I'm hopping on here because last week we were discussing how to move your career forward over the summer, which for a lot of people is just a time to hang out, just a time to go with the flow kind of thing. And we were discussing how you can keep moving forward even though it's summertime. And a lot of you actually got back to me and said that absolutely, you definitely want to keep moving forward in your career even over the summer. And a lot of you were telling me that actually you're really struggling right now with your career in terms of a bunch of different questions. So I wanted to talk about the struggle, how the struggle is real in our career, and what does that mean, and does it really need to be that hard? Oh, thanks for the thumbs up. So, you know, when it comes to career, a lot of people think, thanks for the extra thumbs up. Yeah, so when it comes to career, a lot of people think that it's just supposed to be difficult. So I wanted to look at, is that really true? Should your career be something that's so difficult? And probably you or someone you know is struggling right now with those kinds of career questions. So maybe you know someone who has been saying, well, I know that my current job isn't going anywhere, but I guess I should probably stay because of the pay or the salary, or because maybe, you know, for some of you it's, I want to go on maternity leave and so I need a stable job. Some of you, it's I need a visa, so I need to stay, so I get a residency permit or some kind of permit. And of course, you know, there's the stability of staying. And then you have, or someone you know has other options that you're thinking about, but you're not sure if they're the right option or not, right? All these kinds of questions. And it's like, every day they're thinking about a different option or just going back and forth between the same options again and again and again. And it's really tough, like they can't make the decision because there are just so many complicating factors. Or maybe you know someone who does know what they want, but they've just been applying and they can't get that dream job. Or some of you are stuck in both of them. So not only do you not know if you should stay where you are or go somewhere else, but you've also tried applications and you're also looking out for that next thing, and either you just don't see the job that you want posted anywhere, or when you do see it posted, you can't get it. Like maybe you go on a few interviews, they never pick you, or maybe you've spent lots and lots of time writing application letters and cover letters and just no one is hiring you. So you're feeling like this is too hard, or should it really be this hard? And I think what happens with a lot of people is that there's also this assumption that these are just hard things, like that you'll chalk it up to too much competition, or that you're in a dying industry. I know I studied journalism and we were all told over and over again, journalism is dying, this industry is dying, good luck to you guys, right? So when it was hard, we thought, oh yeah, it's supposed to be hard, I am in a dying industry, probably I should just accept whatever it is because I'm lucky to get whatever I can get. And I think it's not just journalism that's being told this message, it's a lot of industries out there. Everyone is being told there's a lot of competition, it's really tough, there are no jobs, it's supposed to be hard. And so a lot of us are just accepting that it's supposed to be hard, and so we're running around in circles and basically just living life in a way that is quite difficult. And the question is career building really that hard? Is it really hard being in this pool of competition? Do we really need to be struggling this much, or is there a better way? And so the answer to that is yes, it is supposed to be hard. I bet you thought I was going to say there's a better way. You don't have to struggle. No, it is hard. That is why so many people struggle with it. That is why it's so difficult. And I know that being in that space is really, really hard. But the way you need to look at it is that it's not hard in the sense, there are two different types of hard, and you need to choose which hard you want to go for. So on one hand, you have the hard, which is, you know, being stuck in that endless cycle of applications, being stuck doing everything you can just to land one job interview, and then you go to that interview and then still you don't fit their mold in some way, shape or form. Maybe they say, yeah, you're great, but you know, we already had someone, or but someone else was a little bit more experienced, or whatever it is. And then you're just back to the drawing board. Or maybe it's hard in the sense that that where you currently are, you're working really, really hard, and yet they're not giving you a promotion, and yet you can't really go elsewhere because you're not getting any opportunities elsewhere. So all of that is really hard, right? However, there is another way, which is also hard, but it's going to lead to a different outcome. And so that other way is to actually use a system where you start getting opportunities to come to you. So instead of being in this position where you're running after the opportunities start coming to you. Now, the misconception is that that sounds easy, right? It's not easy. You're going to have to follow a system and implement that system. And implementing that system, which is what we do in my program, the Accelerate Your Ambitions program, implementing that system is not easy because it requires a lot of shifts. But ultimately, of course, it is so much better. At least I think so, and my clients definitely think so, because you are really doing what works. You're actually getting results. What's hard is when you're struggling, and you're not getting any results, and you're just going around in the circles that we've been talking about. So when you actually get into a system and you're following the proven steps, which will get you to where you want to go, and you're changing your marketing, you're changing your branding, you're changing the way that you're being perceived, that is where the opportunities start coming to you. But obviously that's not an easy thing to do, right? A lot of people are stuck in the hard cycle where they are sending out a lot of applications. At the same time, they're Googling, they're YouTubing, they're watching different webinars, maybe they've watched my webinar, right? And just trying to get lots of freebies and tips and tricks. And then they're forever stuck in the cycle of just Googling and looking for free stuff, looking for tips, looking for something else. And then maybe they decide, okay, I'm gonna finally pay some money. I'm gonna do a career coaching session or a couple of sessions. Or some people even buy like, you know, packages of a few sessions and stuff like that. And what happens is, they don't want to invest enough that they're really committed to it. So everyone is trying to dip their toe in the water. What I mean by that is, you know, that's like people who are just Googling, just looking up for YouTube videos, people who decide to spend a bit of money to work with a coach, and they're just doing like one-off sessions here and there, maybe some coaching exercises. And what I've noticed with those people is that they tend to think that they're trying, and we've discussed this before, right? When you're working really hard, you're really, really trying, but you're not actually getting your result. And that happens when you are not fully committed. So what that means is that you haven't decided once and for all, I'm going to make this happen. So instead, you end up wasting even more time Googling and looking at the tips and tricks and not getting to where you want to go, or even working with these career coaches who will do sessions here and there, a lot of like exploratory work to get to know yourself better, or those kinds of tests that at the end of the test you see if you're supposed to be a nurse, a doctor, a lawyer, when really none of those are right for you, or you get this big long list of options and nothing is appealing enough that you really decide what you want to go for. It just keeps you going around in circles because none of them are solution oriented, and none of them really require you to make a full-on commitment. And so many of us are afraid of taking the one wrong step in our careers, as though, you know, if you take one small wrong decision, you're a failure and it's over. So we'd better just play it safe and keep doing what we're doing, or keep Googling, keep getting bits and pieces, you know, that way we don't have to dive in, we can just put our toe in the water. So I don't know if you guys know anyone like this. Have you noticed anyone who's like going in circles and they keep discussing the same kind of decisions over and over again? If you do, let me know in the comments, or if that sounds like you, let me know. And what it really comes down to is that you have to choose your hard. So do you want hard, like this, not having to make a commitment, but going around in circles? Or do you want hard? It's very tough to make a commitment, very, very tough. I know that, you know, I've been in that position before where I want something, but I wish there was a way to just dip my toe in. And what I've realized is that by not diving in earlier, I actually wasted a lot of time, which is the most important thing, as well as money, because you know, the sooner you can get to where you want to go, most of you guys want a salary raise. So the sooner you can get that salary raise, the sooner you have more income coming in. And also time is money. Like, time is the most important thing. So the more that you're wasting that time, the more you guys are just holding yourself back. And, you know, where you can really see where your commitment lies is where you spend your time, where you spend your money. This we've discussed before, and a lot of you guys are not at the stage yet where you're willing to dive in. And that's because as a society, we look at things in terms of failure. You know, success is, we'd rather be in the middle, not fail and not have success, than actually risk failure, which makes no sense, right? Like, what is success without failure? What is the point of not diving in and going after what we want? That is guaranteed failure, right? Not diving in, dipping our toe in, that is the guaranteed failure. And so I think this is the big mindset shift that so many people need to make, that failure is not diving in. Failure is dipping your toe in. And so if you really want to succeed at something big and something amazing, and you want to build an amazing, amazing life, you're going to have to dive in. Like, just trying is not going to get you there. The average person doesn't have the kind of goals that you probably want. I mean, I know you guys in this group, you have amazing goals. Like, I am blown away by the kinds of goals you have in terms of what you want for yourselves, what you want for your families, what you want to be able to also give back to the world. Like, you guys have some amazing projects in mind, and those are great goals, but the fact is, they're beyond what the average person sort of does in life, right? Which is amazing, and that's why we're here, right? We don't want to just be average, we want to really have it all, create our ideal lives. We all deserve to have all those things. You know, it doesn't have to be an either or situation. You can have the salary, have the impact people the way that you want to, deliver your contribution, have a purpose. There's no reason you shouldn't be able to have all of those things. And so you shouldn't have to choose between all of those things. However, you're gonna have to dive in, you're gonna have to make that commitment. You're not gonna be able to just dip your toe in the water. And these days, everything is about that shiny new object, the quick thing that's gonna solve everything, you know, and that's why so many people are pursuing a lot of different things and thinking this is gonna be the one thing, right? This will be easy, this will just get me there. And the fact is, none of it's gonna be easy, but the only way to make it happen is to actually commit. So yeah, so this is where you need to think, am I committed or am I just interested? So do these things that I want, do they sound like a nice idea, or are they something that I'm actually committed to and committed to getting now, right? Because a lot of people are like, yeah, I'm committed. And they're not actually doing anything to get themselves there. Like, that's really showing full-on commitment. So if your commitment is something that you're planning on into the future, that's actually not commitment. Commitment is when you're working on it right now. Because someday doesn't exist, you guys. Someday is not on the calendar. And so commitment requires, you know, those calendar appointments. It requires that day-to-day action. It really requires the now, because there's only the present, right? We all know that, but a lot of us don't live by that. There really is only the present. So if if you're talking to someone and they're telling you about all these grand plans they have and their vision, but they're not actually, you know, you keep seeing them day in and day out and months later, and they still haven't achieved those things, it's because they haven't committed to it. They haven't made it a present thing. It's still a future thing. And it's okay to have some future goals, but just realize that you're not actually committed to them. And so ideally you want to have goals where you might have some far away in the future. You know that that's not your current commitment. That's like, you know, for those of you who are saying, one day I'd like to have kids, but right now I'm doing something else, right? So it's a one-day goal. It's not something that you're committed to right now, which is fine. But then you should know what the goals are, know what goals you are working towards right now. So if those kids are in store for you in the future, and you know that that's something you're going to do once you have a better job, once you have a stable job, but you're actually not doing anything right now towards getting that job, which is going to let you have those kids, then really you're not committed to that at all. I mean, that's never going to happen unless you decide to commit to getting, you know, step one. So yeah, these are just some examples of the way that lack of commitment can play out in your life. What happens is that you go through life and you think you're committed. It's a someday, and then the years go by and that never becomes a commitment, and that's how you end up being average, right? That is how average people live. And I know you guys are not average people. I've talked to you, I've heard from you. I know what kind of goals you have. They are amazing. And I know that you guys are here because you are committed to going above and beyond and doing something that is different. So you just want to ask yourself, am I lying to myself, or am I really, really committed to what I want? And the way you know if you're committed is if you've invested your time, you've invested your money, and you have all of those action steps on the calendar. And I think what stops a lot of people also from doing that is that they don't know what the action steps actually are. Like, they actually don't have a strategy. So that's where working with a mentor and enrolling in an actual system, an actual process that is results oriented, because as I was saying before, a lot of this career coaching stuff that's out there is not results oriented, and it's very much based on a session here, a session there, which makes you learn very interesting stuff about yourself, but it doesn't actually get you your outcome. So that is one of the reasons why I started the Accelerate Your Ambitions program, so that we can reach our goals. We reach them following a process that is basically like what a CEO of a big company would do, or any kind of a business owner. We take a business-oriented approach. We put you in the center of your own life, and make it very, very action-paced using the methods that are working right now. Because a lot of, you guys who have career counselors and stuff like that, maybe, I know some people were mentioning that, oh, I have a career counselor with my university, right? And those methods are just so outdated. It tends to be very, very like the typical roles that they try to show you how to get, and they don't usually know what the current job market actually is like how to actually get those opportunities coming to you today. A lot of them are still telling you to apply, send cover letters, send your CV, and hope for the best. And this is not the current way of job hunting. We are leaving that kind of a paradigm. Things are changing very, very fast. This is not the Industrial Revolution anymore. This isn't about just fitting yourself into a box, getting as much done in as little time as you can. And, this is really about, in the current economy, we've gotten to the place where things could not be cheaper or more efficient to produce anymore. Like, think about email, right? It's before we had snail mail. Well, we still have snail mail, and it would take a very long time for any message to get anywhere. And now we do that in a second, and it's free. So there's no way to really make that process even faster. We have instant messaging these days. So if you guys try to compete by being faster, by trying to fit into boxes, you're not going to be competing at all. You're not going to be competitive. So that's why you need the most current strategy that really works today, so that you guys will start getting those opportunities coming in instead of fighting to get noticed, and you guys will really be able to achieve all of those amazing, amazing dreams that you have. So let me know in the comments what your dreams are. I always love to hear them, and let me know, on a scale of 1 to 10, how hard do you feel like it has been with in terms of your career struggles? Like, do you feel like you're in this hard place? And just describe a little bit about what's hard right now. What's the struggle look like for you? So lovely talking to you guys as always, and looking forward to seeing you here again soon. Let me know if you have any questions, and yeah, for those of you who want to get help, who want to choose a different kind of hard, so not the hard where you're like scrambling around and going in circles, but if you want to escape that cycle and really get yourselves the system so that you can be, marketed for today, start getting those opportunities coming to you, like what I was talking about, and really open up that world of possibilities where your goals can actually become a reality, then send me a message, and what we'll do is we can set up a career roadmap session together. And that is a free session where we're going to discuss your goals, and where we're gonna see, what is the best way for you to move forward with them. So definitely message me if you guys are struggling right now, because there's no point in struggling in the wrong direction, right? If you're gonna struggle, might as well have it be a commitment, the struggle to put in the work you know, the positive struggle. Have that struggle of putting in the work, moving in the direction that you want to be moving in, not the struggle of confusion and running around in a circle, which is not going to get you anywhere. So there you go. Talk to you guys soon and have an amazing day.